Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So today I want to talk about ambition and how ambition can cause problems in a relationship, right? So I want to talk about ambition and how ambition, someone being ambitious, however you want to phrase it, someone being a goal getter, how that can actually cause problems in a relationship. So that's what I want to discuss today. So before I get into it, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, if you can go ahead and do so right now. Also, please don't forget to hit the like button. Please don't forget to share the videos and leave your comments as well. Let me know what you think. If there is a topic that you would like for me to talk about, please feel free to drop it in the comments, or you could shoot me an email privately, and I'll see if I can make a video and discuss whatever topic it is that you would like for me to talk about. So, welcome to the channel if you're new here. And so let's talk about it. So, how ambition can cause problems in a relationship. Now, first of all, I think it's really good for people to have ambition, right? I feel like if you're just getting up every day and you don't have any goals, there is nothing that you're trying to accomplish. You're just kind of just going with the flow, so to speak. And if that's the way you're living, where it's just kind of like what happens happens. There is you don't have any goals. There is nothing specifically that you're trying to achieve. Perhaps maybe just maybe just the next paycheck, and maybe that might be your goal, is just to make sure that there is another paycheck. All right. So not to kind of dismiss that, but beyond that, though, I believe it's really important for a lot of people. I think it's important for everyone, as a matter of fact, to have. But I know that's not, in a perfect world, it's not always going to happen like that. But I think it's really important to have goals and to have something that you're trying to achieve in your life. Something that gives you purpose for when you get up every day. You're not just kind of going with the flow, so to speak, but there is a purpose. There's something that you are trying to accomplish. And when you're passionate about something, when you're really, really passionate about something, then you're going to find a way to accomplish whatever that something is, right? Now, everyone is going to have, none of us are going to be passionate about the same things. None of us are going to have the same set of goals. But that's what makes the world unique. And that's what makes people unique, is that every individual has something that they are trying to accomplish, and that is what makes us unique in a lot of ways, and that is something to be cherished. So let's talk about it in terms of a relationship now. So I've seen this a lot of times, and what happens is, so you get into a relationship with someone, and in the early stages of a relationship, we tend to ask very superficial questions, right? That's when we're just getting to know someone. Where are you from? Maybe what school did you go to? Blah 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 blah. So what do you want to do with the rest of your life? That sort of stuff. Those are the superficial questions that we have a tendency to ask early on in a relationship. And then as we get more secure and more comfortable and trust begins to build with someone, then we start to get into, I guess you could say, asking more intimate and more deeply personal questions as we're getting to know someone. And I think that's a perfect opportunity at that point in the relationship to start to try to figure out, if you haven't done so already, now you're trying to figure out perhaps where does this person want to go with their life, right? What does he want to do? What does she want to do? Uh, what does the person want to do with themselves? What goals do they have? Because this can cause a lot of problems in a relationship. So, this can go two ways. So, well, let's see if it's two, because other things could come to my mind while I'm talking about this. But offhand, this can go two ways. It's either that you have people who are so ambitious, two people who are so ambitious that they then cannot find any time for each other, right? And you can see that in relationships where you have two very ambitious people who are also very independent in their own way, which is not a problem. But because they have all of these ambitions, it's very difficult for them to have kind of like a unified front in that relationship. It's hard for them to come together in certain types of ways because their ambitions are pulling them left and right. Um, let's just say, for example, someone who is in med school and someone who's in law school, or someone who's working on their doctorate, their PhD, or whatever the case is, that sort of stuff. And then you have these people who have these ambitions, these things they want to accomplish. And if you're not careful, and if you don't communicate properly, then you could be in a situation to where you're not finding, and time becomes a big issue, because to be able to accomplish things in life, it means that you must invest a lot of time into it. And so where do you draw the line in terms of how much time we're both putting into our individual pursuits versus how much time that we're both putting into the relationship that we're actually in? And then finding that sweet spot, as people love to say, finding that balance in the relationship to where I feel like I feel like my goals are not being, hindered in any way by the fact that I am in this relationship, and you feel the same as well, that the relationship is not a hindrance to your goals. The relationship in a lot of ways is helping to, perhaps even helping you to achieve your goals, because the person is more of a source of inspiration for you than they are a distraction. And so I guess that's something really good to think about, right? Is the person that you're currently in a relationship, are they a distraction to what you want to achieve in your life, or are they actually contributing to what you want to achieve in your life? Are they your supporter, or are they more of a detractor, or somebody who's very pessimistic and can't support you? They can't help you figure things out, or whatever the case is. Or do they complement you well, in such a way to where they, as I said, they're not a distraction? There's somebody who's actually supporting you. So that's one side of it. The other side to it is when someone's ambitions completely outweigh the fact that someone else has no ambition at all, right? So you are wanting to do something, you have all these plans like, we're going to accomplish this, and we're going to do this, and we're going to do all these types of things. And the other person is like, okay, so if we just pay the bills, and you can eat some food, and you've got gas for the car, and you've got, I'm okay, right? That might be the other person. Whereas the other person in the relationship is more gung ho, so to speak, in terms of they want to try to accomplish things. Let's do this. And then you've shared your passion with the person who lacks ambition, let's put it that way, shares with the person who is very ambitious, and they're in a relationship with them, some of the things that they would perhaps like to accomplish in life. And then this person is pushing you because they believe in you perhaps more than you believe in yourself. So they're pushing you, and telling you, you know what, you could accomplish this. Because when they see, and there are people like this, they are turned on and they're attracted to you more because of your drive and your passion and your goals and your that type of stuff. And when they see that lacking in you, or when they see that you're not trying, or you're giving up, and all that sort of stuff, they lose that interest and that passion, and they're not as attracted to you anymore because you don't have the drive or the whatever it is. It's not necessarily that your drive must match theirs. It's just that you're not doing anything with your life. And so a lot of times that's how ambition also hurts relationship. It's not just that you have two ambitious people, it's that you have one person who's really ambitious and you have the other person who just wants to, well, once we can eat and, keep a roof over our head, or whatever the case is, then that's fine. And that is not enough for the other person in the relationship. Now, I'm not saying that you can't pay your bills once you can pay your bills and you can eat and you can, look, if that's you, that's fine. But if you're dating someone who expects more from themselves, in terms of what they want to accomplish in life and who they want to partner themselves with, then what you realize can happen sometimes is when you start to really discover who someone is as you're really getting into a relationship with them, and you've moved past the superficial stuff and you're really getting to know them really well, or maybe you're living with them, or you're whatever the case is, as you're really getting to know this person, you realize this person has no ambition at all. That could be a deal breaker in a lot of relationships. And a lot of relationships would simply have, I know, broke up, where people broke up because one person is passionate, one person has things that they want to accomplish, and the other person, they just kind of, there's really nothing that they significantly really want to do with their life. And look, that's okay for you, but you also have got to understand that if someone is attracted to you for a certain purpose and a certain reason, and you led them on to feel like, well, there are things that you might want to do, if they realize that that is not there. Now, some people are going to say, well, maybe you should try to push the person and you should try to, well, I've already mentioned that. So what if you're pushing the person and you're trying to help them, you're trying to support them? There's only so much you could do. The old adage, right? That saying that you could lead the horse to water, but you can't make it drink. So there's just some things that no matter how well you wish someone, or how much you wish that they will do well in their life, there's some things that you just cannot force people to do, right? And you shouldn't force people to do anything. They should want to do something on their own. I just believe it's more meaningful and beneficial then. So that's how ambition could hurt your relationship. It's either you have two people, they're so competitive, they're so whatever, they're so driven that they have no time for each other. You have one person who's super ambitious and you have the other person who doesn't care at all. So let me know what you think. Have you ever been in a situation like that where you've had to deal with somebody who's has no ambition at all, or your relationship struggled because you and your partner were so ambitious that you had no time for each other, and maybe that caused problems, and how you dealt with it? Leave your comments down below. Again, if you're not subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe. Don't forget to share. Welcome to the channel. We're trying to educate and motivate each other here, and also just kind of using the platform as a source of empowerment. So, if you can leave your comments, if there are any videos you'd like for me to make, I would certainly try to take the time to do so as well. Thank you again for taking the time to watch. As I always say, I know you could be watching anyone else's channel, so I want to thank you for taking the time to watch my channel. And until next time, peace.